It may be gone 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but we still have plenty of sunlight left in the day, and a fair bit of work that still needs to get done. Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to Seasons in the Valley, the first day of summer. So last time out we got our crops fertilised at the final stage, including our grass fields, and then we mowed and rode the grass in our cow paddock, our empty cow paddock, and now it's time to bale it and wrap it. Now, this is the first time I've used this in anger, this baler. This is huge, but it does spit out 4,500 litre bales. So looking forward to actually giving this a run for the first time. Oh, it's quite quite heavy. Our little T6 is struggling on those corners with it. There we go. We are up and running. Do you want to keep an eye on this bit here? I could have got that all in one go if I hadn't been a little overzealous on the turn there. It's got a really wide pickup, which is helpful as well. So it does seem really quite good at picking up, you know, big fat swaths. Just get that little bit there that we missed as well. But yeah, it takes a little while to get this thing rolling. It is a big, heavy baler. You can see how slow the T6 is to get going, even in a straight line. This thing does have a bit of weight to it, a bit of heft to it. It takes a little bit of work to get her up to full operating speed. So that's the first bale on its way out the back. Now, as far as I know, these bales are physically the same size as normal, but obviously they are 4,500 litres in volume rather than 4,000, so they do have that extra 500 litres. It's going to be great for storage of hay bales if the bales are based on a bale limit rather than a volume limit, because it means 200 bales at 4,500 litres as opposed to 200 bales at 4,000 litres. That's quite a big increase in the amount of product that we can store. And as I said earlier, we are also going to find out whether or not 4,500 litre bales sell for a higher amount as silage bales than regular 4,000 litre bales. Been looking forward to trying this out for quite some time, and now we are finally in that position. It is a pretty hefty looking thing, this baler, isn't it? Really big, fat body. I did miss a bit back there, so let's just go back and collect that. There we go. Of course, we might not have this opportunity late, you know, further down the line when we start getting some cows. We won't really be able to come in here, but seeing as we still don't have livestock, we're taking full advantage of this big empty field. And yeah, you can see this baler's just gobbling up those large clumps. I mean, these windrows aren't exactly big and fat. But as long as I actually stay in a straight line, which of course, invariably, every time I try and get a scenic shot, I start breaking away from the, because I can't see what's coming up. get off the grass. Oh, it really does not like turning corners, this thing. Really struggling. I'll have to straighten it up and then back her up. That's going to be the easiest way to do this, I think. Even reversing is a struggle. I mean, I'm pretty sure we have enough power to run this thing. It's just a weight issue, I think. And I don't want to, I say, run the T7 with this. The T7 does so much already. I bought the T6 to do all this summer work, so maybe we'll just need to beef up the engine a little bit. Actually, no, we did beef the engine up, didn't we? So yeah, this is a 160 horsepower engine, and it's still a little bit of a struggle. This baler is so heavy. And of course, if it turns out that we don't get any extra value with our silage bales, then we may have to invest in another baler, but we'll keep this one for straw. I see grass bales and hay bales and straw bales do actually have a fluctuating economy in this, whereas they don't really tend to. They have a fixed price in regular farming sim, but I don't know whether silage bales are part of that fluctuating economy. My guess is that they would have a fixed price, because there's nothing in the categories for them in the seasons menus. So that to me suggests that they are going to have a fixed price. Well, let me just do this little bit around here, and I'll pull the menus up and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Just that last little line there, and then that's this section of the paddock done. Oh, it takes so long to turn those corners. I tried to get it all in one go, tried to be a little bit clever there. Didn't quite make it. Little tuft that's left. There we go. Right, so if I pull up the seasons menu, you can see a bit further down here. No, it's here. We have a standard price for silage, and you can see that, you know, it's fluctuated a little bit because it does, you know, still go up and down, you know, and these prices are adaptive, so it gives you a predicted price for the upcoming year, and then everything it shows you is the kind of price that it was the previous days, you know, once that day has actually gone through. And I think it learns and it adapts and averages out over the years as you continue to play. That's what I understand. I may be wrong on that. Obviously we're still in our first year, so we can't test that theory until next year and see what happens to the prices. But we do have, as you see, an economy here for straw bales, and an economy, well, there's no economy for grass bales, but there is one for hay bales. But there's nothing for silage bales. You know, we just have that flat price for loose silage, but nothing for silage bales. That to me suggests that maybe we'll have a fixed price like we do in the regular version of Farming Sim for silage bales, because there is no fluctuating economy like there is for the straw bales and the hay bales. But we'll find that out, I suppose, and when it comes time to sell. It's going to take us 2 days to ferment these bales once they're wrapped, so we won't find out until the middle of summer just how much these are going to be worth. but hopefully they'll be worth a decent amount of money. Like I said, we have that massive debt hanging over our shoulders, hanging over our heads at the moment. 660,000 euros of debt that we need to clear as quickly as we can. You know, we're paying out quite a bit in interest payments. You know, over 2,500 euros a day in interest. And it'd be nice to just get rid of that payment, or at least reduce it by paying off some of our loan as quickly as we can. So that's mainly what our silage bales are going to go to. You know, clearing down some of that debt, so that, you know, our daily expenses aren't as high. Plenty of grass left in this section here. Let's see if I can make this turn. Yep, there we go. And we've still got all the grasses on the other side of the bridge as well. The other side of that path, we still have all of that grass left there as well. So quite a lot of bales are going to be ready for wrapping. There we go. Oh, it struggles around these corners. It's such a tight turn. It just does not like those tight turns. Completely kills our speed. I haven't been counting you know, how many bales we've been spitting out either. I have absolutely no idea how many we've produced so far. We can check later. We can check the help menu. It should show how many bales have been produced. But I'm going to go on a rough value of 2,000 euros a bale, and I'm hoping that it's fixed and it isn't going to fluctuate. So at 2,000 euros a bale, if we can do 50 bales, then we're looking at what, 100 grand? Is that right? 100 grand? Yes. That'll be nice. That'll be a huge amount of money that we can use to pay off the loan, or pay off part of our loan. It'll bring our interest payments down by a few hundred euros, I would imagine. We can knock that much off them. And that'll get us that little bit closer to breaking even. You know, we do have the income from our greenhouses, which just helps chip away at some of those, you know, daily costs. We haven't had a full day with the greenhouse yet, so I'm not entirely sure exactly how much we'll get from a full day, because obviously part of the day had already gone when we placed them. So we didn't get a full 24 hours worth of income from our greenhouses, but they still chipped in, I think, about 1,200 euros at the end of the day. So on a full day, maybe we're looking at 1,500, maybe even more than that. And the more money that they produce for us, then, you know, the smaller our losses are at the end of every day, because we are still losing cash every day with our maintenance costs, our equipment costs. Just running the farm, essentially. And if it wasn't for those cucumbers in those greenhouses, we would have absolutely zero income until it comes to selling off crops. So they are helping just to keep us reasonably okay financially. Like I say, we are still losing money, but we're not losing as much. Makes it a little bit more manageable. Oh, was a struggle, that hill there. I mean, it was tight, but yeah, it was a struggle. These bales just don't seem to like going down easy. They just come out and bounce off at a weird angle every single time. I haven't seen a single bale go down smoothly yet. Oh, this could be awkward. Let's turn here as best we can and then back up. Oh, of course, a bale's landed exactly where I need to be. That's just great. A huge clump of grass here. This will be a big chunk of the next bale. Push my way through. Might need to get a bale pusher. Right for now. Let's switch back to first person. Let's do a little bit of in-cab baling. See the machine just working away behind us there. And you can kind of see it in the mirror when it's not obscured by our seasons menu and our 7-day forecast. Look at the weather. We've got great weather all week, which is what we need as well with grass. Obviously we don't want it to rain before we can get these bales wrapped. Otherwise it's going to start rotting on us straight away. We need to get them wrapped as quickly as we can. Once they're wrapped, they'll be fine. They'll be protected from the elements. So we don't even have to store them anywhere. We could just leave them in the field if we wanted to, and they would be absolutely fine. But until we get them wrapped, they're at risk. Even the windrows are at risk. You know, they will just start, disappearing. After, almost straight away, and then the longer it is that you leave them out uncollected, the less grass that you actually have to work with, because they just start rotting and disintegrating. A little patch of grass just there, grab that. There we go. Let's grab the rest of the grass that's around here. There we go, make the turn if we can. Nope, we can't. A little bit too tight. Still a little bit too tight. Now we should make it. Just if we can actually get going. Come on, come on. Get that forward momentum going. There we go. So what we'll probably do is leave the bales in the field, but we might run the bale loader wagon around and just stack them somewhere, and then leave them there stacked in the side of the field, and then come back and collect them once they've fermented, which will be day 3, end of day 3. So we may possibly have to wait till day 4 before we can actually sell them. The Wopster will help us identify that. We'll be able to tell close to the time. The other option we have is to just take them all down and stack them down by the BGA. Stack them down by the shredder, ready and waiting, and then just when they are ready, then we can just tip them straight in. But the problem with that is it means that if we want to check on the progress of our bales fermentation wise, then we have to drive all the way down to the BGA just to check them and then come all the way back again. So we'll leave them here at the farm. I think that's going to be the easiest way that we can keep an eye on them without having to venture halfway down the map just to check them and then go back to what we were doing again. much grass left on the field now. Just the odd little bit of row here and there. We're almost ready to start wrapping. Oh, come on, it's struggling to turn. There we go. Yeah, just a few more rows here, and then, as I say, we'll get the wrapper out, and then we'll stack them. So I'm going to quickly just skip ahead. I'm going to get the rest of this grass rowed, and then we'll go grab the wrapper and start making some bales, some silage bales. As you can see, we are firmly underway with our bale wrapping. I did actually think I'd recorded some stuff, in the transitional period between the baling and the wrapping, and it turns out that I stopped the recorder at that point and then started it again when I finished talking. So I kind of sat there talking away for a little while and didn't record any of that footage. Whoops, never mind. So yeah, I don't know where we left off. Kind of lost now as to what we were discussing. But yeah, this is mainly going to be our main job for the summer. We're going to be doing a lot of this wrapping of bales. In the future, we'll be looking at bringing animals into the farm. We're going to start off nice and simple. We're going to go with sheep. So, whereas we're going to do some hay baling later this summer, we're also going to do a lot of this silage baling as well, so that we can help pay off our debt and get ourselves in a much stronger financial position ready for next year. Next year, of course, we'll have more of an understanding exactly what's involved with seasons, because we'll have had this year to sort of acclimatise to each season. So next year we'll be able to really attack things much more head-on, with a lot more knowledge and understanding of exactly what we need to get done each season and where we can make good money in each season as well. But by doing some hay baling, then it means that if we do decide to go for cows, obviously we'll be doing straw baling once our wheat and barley is harvested. And most of that straw will get sold, but we will keep some in storage, ready for when we do need straw bedding for cows or pigs, but probably cows before pigs. By having the hay, that will work for cows if we do get into cows, but we can also feed hay to our sheep as well. They can have either grass or hay, and if we have hay bales in storage, then it means when we do get some sheep, we'll be able to get off to a running start, because we'll have plenty of food available for them. I just want to check something. Let's see. When is the best time to buy sheep? Sort of early autumn by the look of it. So if we have enough money, we could perhaps invest in a few sheep early autumn. I am a little concerned about what will happen to them over winter. But yeah, we might possibly get some sheep this year. If we do, we'll probably only get a small number. A, because they're expensive, and B, we don't have a lot of money. we're in debt recovery this year, and that's our main focus, is to just reduce our payments on our loans, get ourselves in a much stronger financial position ready for next year so that we can start looking at expanding the farm with additional fields, maybe additional equipment, and certainly extra livestock. But if we can get off to a small start with some animals this year, that would be a good thing, I think. So, not too many bales left to wrap now. Obviously, I've already wrapped all of the bales on the other side of the bridge, most of which you didn't see because I forgot to record that bit. I decided to record the bits in between instead. But I'm going to stack these here on the farm. Excuse me. I'm going to stack these bales here on the farm. I think you may have missed this part, so if I'm repeating myself, apologies. As I say, you know, I'm not entirely sure what I said that's been cut and what's been kept, but we could stack these here on the farm, or we could stack these over by the BGA, but we're going to stack them here at the farm so that we can check them, because they are going to take 2 days to ferment. So rather than travelling half the map just to check them and then travel half the map back again to carry on with whatever we were doing, if they're here, you know, they're really quick and easy to just walk up to, point the Wopster at them to check their fermentation level. In fact, actually, that's something we can do right now. The Wopster should show us the level of silage in here, so let's just scan this bale. And there you go, you can see 0.24% fermented, and slightly less than 5,000 litres. It's already started to go down, you see, because it's been out for a while. So we need to get the rest of these wrapped pretty quickly. As I said, you know, the longer the bale is out, the quicker, well, not the quicker, but you know, the longer it's out, the more of it degrades. Once it's wrapped, it should be safe. So we need to get them wrapped pretty quickly. So I'm going to keep working like this with bales at 5 times speed. I'm not going to go down to, you know, real-time speed just when we're baling, you know, because it takes away part of the challenge, I think, working at ×1. I mean, we kind of had to in spring just because we had so much stuff that we had to get done in such a small window of time, but this is all we're going to be doing, and for the majority of the summer, is working with bales, and it seems a little bit of a cop-out if we were to just do that all at regular time. Yeah, so we're gonna keep it at ×5. So some of our bale sizes are going to reduce, just, you know, depending on how long it takes us to get to the bales, and that's as it should be. That's the challenge of seasons. So we're not going to, as I say, we're not going to cheat by slowing down to regular time and getting everything sort of baled and wrapped in one go. Obviously, this is where the advantage, if you're doing round bales, of using the round baler with wrapper, that's where that's going to become advantageous, because you'll be able to get those bales wrapped the second you make them, so you shouldn't get any degradation in size of your bales. That's something, if you do want to keep the challenge of working at ×5, then that's something you could do. You're still going to have, you know, that degradation of your windrows, you know, while you're running around with the baler, but the bales should stay at full size. Obviously they'll be 4,000 litres, not 4,500 litres, because you'll be using a round baler, and we don't have, you know, variable sized round balers on consoles. We just have this you know, this one single baler that does 4,500 litres, and all the rest do 4,000. But all the round bales will be 4,000 litres. But as I say, being able to wrap them the second they come out the baler could end up being quite a useful thing to do. So perhaps round baling is the way to go in the future instead of square baling. That's something to think about. Maybe we'll switch over next year to round bales. I don't know. I like the idea of having a New Holland baler rather than a Kuhn baler. I mean, it just makes sense seeing as we're doing a New Holland farm to use as much New Holland equipment as we can where, where viable. I say that, as we drive past the mowers, I deliberately did not take the New Holland mower because I hate that mower. Can't stand it. That's why we didn't select that particular New Holland mower. But in terms of the baling equipment, there's so many New Holland balers out there. There's the official in-game ones, then there's the reskinned red New Holland balers for the Americans. Then you have the big axle baler from Black Sheep, and then you have this 4,500 litre New Holland baler as well. So there's a lot of different New Holland balers, and it would just seem criminal not to use at least one of them on a New Holland themed farm. Right, now I need to pull the help menu up for this just to see if there's any funky controls, because I haven't actually used this before. So we're in the operating position. I'm guessing we just drive up alongside and it'll automatically collect the bales. But I haven't used this auto load pack before, so this is once again virgin territory for me. So no, I was in the wrong place. There we go. Operating position. So yeah, wow, it just literally just plonks them straight on the trailer, and it doesn't matter which side we're on. So we'll slow down. We could just whiz through at top speed, but we're not going to. It really kind of takes the challenge out of the rate my stacks, doesn't it? They're just perfect. And let's see how many bales we end up with. We could have checked on the help menu. I've completely forgot, but seeing as we're collecting, we may as well just collect them all up. See where we end up. I wonder how many stacks in terms of height it will go up to as well. If it's 2 or 3, maybe even 4. I don't think we're going to have 4 stacks worth of bales, but I can see us having 3 stacks quite comfortably. Wow, this really is making this easy, isn't it? I think I might actually get rid of the auto loader. It does seem to be a little bit too easy. All we're doing is literally just driving around slowly in the field and everything's just perfectly neatly stacked like this. It does kind of take away some of the challenge. So we may get rid of the auto stacker, replace it with just a regular bale trailer. I mean, look, there's no challenge to this whatsoever. There's no effort that needs to be put in, no skill involved. It's literally just drive roughly somewhere near a bale and boom, it's automatically there. I mean, it's great for time saving, but it doesn't really give you any kind of challenge whatsoever. Well, we are going to end up needing a 4th stack. I didn't think we would. Can we go 4 high on this? I honestly don't know. No, we can't. We can only go 3 high. Okay, so let's go move these to the storage area, which is the storage area by the BGAs, by our bunkers rather than our barn. Struggle getting up this slope. It's not that steep a hill either. Our little T6 is working overtime today. First struggling with that baler, now it's struggling with these bales. So from what I understand, from what I've seen, the unload is kind of cool. So this is going to be like the hardest part, is getting this thing reversed in. That's going to be the hardest thing about using this bale trailer, is reversing it. But I want to put it inside here. This is going to be where we're going to store our silage bales. And so it's quite close to the to our equipment, and we can just check this and check these at any time. I wonder if it unloads on any side, or whether we're in the wrong place. I guess we'll find out in a second. So we need to unload bales. Right. Ah, I see. I think. Unload bales here. Ah, there we go. Ah, gotcha. Oh wow, that's kind of funky. Alright, let's ooh. That's gonna take some getting used to. Let's try and position those a little bit better. I hate these trailers when it comes to reversing. Absolutely hate them. They're horrible. Because you can never get the trailer where you want it. I kind of want to stack the bales against that side wall. I'm trying to get the trailer in the right position. Right, that looks good. Right, so unload bales here. Unload bales. Excellent, there we go. Right. Well, that was the you know, a lot more work when it came to actually positioning them than it was collecting them. I don't know, maybe we'll stick with this thing a little bit longer. Let me know in the comments, guys. Do you want me to carry on with the auto load trailer like this? It just seems to be making things a little bit easy. Or do you want me to go to proper manual stacking like I've done in the past? Let me know in the comments. And then if you are overwhelmingly in support of keeping this, we'll keep it. If you're overwhelmingly in support of me doing the work properly, then we'll get rid of it and we'll get a regular bale trailer, and we'll go around and actually load them up. We might get the 4-stacker in the future, just to help, you know, if we have lots and lots of bales. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and that's what we'll make our decision on. So let's get these last few bales over here. I wonder if I can stack these on top of the other ones. suppose what I could have done was I could have just driven along here, couldn't I? But I'm going to try that. I might not like it because of the slope. Unload bales. Well, they dropped loose, but yeah. Well, there we go. Let's just check out some of the random bale sizes. So this bale, 4489. They should all be pretty similar. 4495, so we got that one a little bit quicker. 4495. Okay, let's check some of these. 4489. So look, yeah, it looks like 4489 is the worst. Yeah. So obviously we did lose a little bit of our volume on our bales between baling them and wrapping them. Obviously, if you want to keep doing square bales, then a pro tip is, you know, do it in multiplayer and get someone to wrap them as you're baling them. And that way you'll get pretty much full-size bales by wrapping them the second they get spat out with your second driver wrapping them. Or, if it's on a ploughed field, yeah, no, that wouldn't work. You can't hire a worker to run the baler, can you? I was thinking you could run a baler. Well, I don't know, it depends. I mean, you might be able to get away with it on a field that hasn't been windrowed. You might possibly be able to do it there when you've got furrows, you know, right up against each other. Possibly, I don't know. Probably not. Let's try and struggle to get this thing put away. This is why I don't tend to use these original Flegel trailers ever, because it's just so twitchy on that axle. Because the wheels are so small, it makes just the slightest twitch of steering really severe on the trailer. It's quite long as well, so just the little bit of angle on that front axle has a big effect on the rear positioning of the trailer. Oh, there we go. We've got it put away. So, there we go. Job done. We've got our first set of bales collected. Or first load of grass, you know, baled and wrapped, and now stored away. We're going to let those ferment for the next couple of days. Let's close the gate. So we can keep checking on those over the next couple of days and check their progress. And then we can get them all taken down to the BGA once they're ready and sell them off. We also have other grass fields that we need to get done over the next couple of days. So if we have a quick overview of where we are now. This is our corn. This is now fully fermented. So we're waiting on this to grow. Over here we have our soybean. This is all soybean here. Again, it's all fermented at stage 3, as you can see. So we're just waiting for that to grow. Down here we have our canola, we have our barley and our wheat, all in their final stages of growth and all fully fertilized, so we have to just let them grow. And then we have our grass here as well. Now field 62 still has a little bit of growth left to go, I think, and then field 83 and field 93, these were already planted as grass when we started, so these are like the grass paddock that we've just done. These are ready to go. We'll attack field 93 tomorrow. No, we'll do field 83. Yeah, we'll do 83 tomorrow. Then we'll do 93 the day after that, and then 62 the day after that, and then hopefully on the same day that we have that there, our crops should be ready for harvesting, and we can actually go ahead. So this will be day 2. This will be day 3. This will be day 4. And then by day 4, that'll be kind of our summer work done. And then day 5, hopefully, our wheat, barley and canola will be coming in and ready to be harvested. So that's going to work out quite nicely for us. Obviously, as we go forward, we're going to have to kind of balance our grass work against our season. So we may, as the farm gets bigger and we get bigger and bigger fields, we may have to look at potentially planting grass, planting over some of our grass fields with crops. And we may also have to look at going into a 9-day season. But I think 9-day seasons are a little bit away from us yet. I think next year we'll still be at 6 days. And maybe the year after that we'll push to a 9-day season. We'll see how things shake out both this year and next year. But we kind of have a plan now for the rest of summer. With those remaining grass fields and then our crops coming in. And then once we've got the harvesting of our first 3 crops out the way, then we should be hopefully in a position to start harvesting our soybean and our corn and prepping our fields for the following year. So we'll get them cultivated. We'll get some oilseed radish planted at the end of the month. So days 5 and 6 we'll be looking to plant oilseed radish in autumn, so that'll be ready to sort of start germinating in the spring and start growing, and then we can get that cultivated over and planted with our next set of crops in springtime. And then obviously in the winter we'll have to do some sort of log work, and obviously we've got those crops to sell. So that's kind of an overview, really, not just of summer, but kind of a plan for the rest of the year as well. Obviously it's kind of subject to change. Depends on how things go with this season. We're still learning, we're still figuring things out as we go, and we may get a few unexpected things pop up as we go. But yeah, there we go. That is the end of day 1 of summer. So thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and we'll be back with some more grass work very soon.